Electric vehicle fires in parking garages. You've seen the headlines, right? It's a topic that creates a ton of concern and honestly, a whole lot of confusion. So today, we're going to cut right through all that noise and get to the real story using the actual data. Okay, let's just jump right in with the big question everyone's asking. Are EVs a massive fire hazard in car parks? I mean, it's on the mind of pretty much everyone, from people who own EVs to the folks who manage apartment buildings. And, well, the answer is a lot more complicated and way more interesting than you might think. Because here's the twist. While everyone is laser focused on the batteries, the real story, the one we need to talk about, actually starts with a huge change that's happened to every single car out there, whether it runs on gas or electricity. So for our first section, let's dig into that, the real fire risk. Before we can even get to the unique stuff about lithium-ion batteries, we first have to understand what we're parking in our garages every single day. 91%. Get a load of that number. According to the Fire Protection Research Foundation, that's how much the plastic content in an average car has gone up by weight since the 1970s. Just think about that for a second. Our cars are basically becoming giant blocks of solid fuel on wheels. And the result of all that plastic is pretty simple and pretty scary. A car from the 70s, it just had way less stuff that could burn. But today's cars, man, they're packed with up to 10 gigajoules of potential energy. They burn hotter, they burn faster, and this is the really critical part, they spread that fire to other cars way more quickly. And in a multi-story garage, it gets even crazier. This quote, it's from the report on that horrific Liverpool King's Dock fire. It describes how melting plastic fuel tanks and even plastic pipes in the building created literal waterfalls of fire that let the blaze just pour down from one floor to the next. See, this isn't an EV problem. This is a modern car problem. Okay, so now we get it. All modern cars are a bigger fire risk. With that understood, let's move on and look at what makes an EV battery fire so unique. And this, my friends, is where we get into the science of what I like to call the zombie fire. At the heart of it all is this thing called thermal runaway. The easiest way to think of it is like a violent, unstoppable chain reaction happening deep inside the battery. Once it kicks off, it creates its own incredible heat, which just feeds the reaction, making it hotter and hotter in this vicious cycle that's almost impossible to stop from the outside. So what actually happens during thermal runaway? Well, you get this insane release of heat and powerful jets of flammable gas shooting out. The fire itself can burn for hours, long after the rest of the car is just a memory. But here's the most dangerous part, the massive risk of reignition. One study found a battery reigniting 22 hours after everyone thought it was out. It's like a zombie fire. You think it's dead, but it can absolutely come back. And you can see that challenge right here in the firefighting numbers. Putting out an EV fire takes way, way more water. We're not talking about putting out flames on the seats. We're talking about dumping thousands and thousands of extra liters of water onto that battery pack just to try and cool it down enough to hopefully maybe stop that chain reaction inside. And now for what's really the climax of this whole explainer. Theory is one thing, but let's look at the real world. We're going to compare two major fires that tell us everything we need to know about what works and what leads to absolute disaster. And here it is. Wow. The difference could not be more clear. On one hand, you have Liverpool and Stavanger, open-sided garages, and the key detail, no sprinklers. The result? Total catastrophe. Hundreds of cars gone, huge structural damage, even a partial collapse in Stavanger. Then you have a fire in a German garage in 2022. This one did have sprinklers. An EV catches fire, the sprinklers kick on, and the fire was controlled, contained to just that one car. The building was saved. And this brings us to the single most important idea in this whole discussion. The sprinklers in Germany didn't actually put out the zombie battery fire. They couldn't. But what they did do, and they did it perfectly, was control the situation. They cooled everything around the burning EV, stopping the fire dead in its tracks. They turned a potential catastrophe into just a manageable incident. Control, you guys, that is the name of the game. So let's build on that. If control is the goal, how do we get there? In this section, we'll see how all the evidence points overwhelmingly to one single piece of technology as the key to any real strategy for modern car parks. So just how effective are we talking? How about this number? 95%. According to UK insurers, that's how much sprinklers can cut property loss in a car park fire. That is a staggering, game-changing difference, and it's exactly why fire safety groups all over the world are pushing for them. You see, the sprinkler is really the hero in a multi-layered plan. It does the most important job. It stops the fire from jumping from car to car. That simple act buys precious time for the firefighters to show up. And in a really modern system, the moment a sprinkler goes off, it can automatically kill the power to all the EV chargers, making the entire scene that much safer for the first responders. It's brilliant. All right, let's bring it all home by putting some common ideas to the test. In our final section, we're going to use all the evidence we've just gone through to do some rapid-fire myth busting. Okay, let's do this. Myth 1. The risk is only when charging. Nope, refuted. It's the highest risk time for sure, but fires can start in unplugged cars. Myth 2. This is just a problem for huge commercial garages. Also refuted. A car charging overnight unattended in your apartment building? That's a massive risk. Myth 3. Protecting just the EV charging bays is good enough. Absolutely refuted. The danger is the fire spreading, so you have to protect the whole area. And finally, sprinklers should be mandatory. Confirmed. The evidence from real-world disasters makes this one crystal clear. So we end here by kind of flipping the whole debate on its head. After everything we've looked at today, from the plastics inside every car to the incredible power of a simple sprinkler, maybe the question we've all been asking is the wrong one. Maybe the real question isn't, are EVs safe? But instead, are our buildings ready for all modern cars? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.